Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Science Thursday, we're gonna talk about top 5 interesting topics that I have covered in my basically 2 years so far. So let's dive right into it. Now, first topic we're gonna cover is solar cell. The video link should pop up here, and I provided it down below also. The idea is most green solutions simply fails because they do not do anything, practically speaking. Now, this puppy is one of those rare cases where we have reached a point where it makes money and power at the same time. So at this point in time, if you take a carbon footprint of a solar panel, it's like how much carbon footprint is made while trying to make the damn thing, and versus how much electricity is gonna give over its lifetime. It's flat out the least amount of carbon footprint we can do for the most amount of electrical energy we're gonna get, and it's cheaper. That's the whole point. That's the majesty of it. At this point in time, I'm talking in India. Everywhere you can find solar panels on people's rooftop, like everywhere, like from bank ATMs to airports to freaking basically railway stations to even malls, schools, things of that nature. Like every Tom, Dick, and Harry is doing that. Why? Because it's cheaper. That's the interesting part. Like that's the success of a technology. It's like you should not need to subsidize it. And at this point in time, government is subsidizing a lot. Now you're like, why they are subsidizing? They're just taking care of the initial capital cost, because while they do have return on investment, but the return on investment is still like 3 to 5 years of time. Not everybody will have the luxury of like, or even inclination to like, hey, I'm gonna take a loan for 3 to 5 years. It's like, yeah. So government is like, let me help you a bit. Let me help you a bit. So fundamentally, and large solar cell projects, they fundamentally don't even need a subsidy for them. Is like, yeah, dude, give us tax credit. It's like not even like, reduce our cost, just tax credit a little bit. So fundamentally, this has reached a point where it's tangible. We are changing good positive impacts because of this. And if somehow in the future we figure out actual large scale, as in like gigawatt hour scale battery systems, then this will be like problem solved, go home, done. Don't even think about this. Like, this is the most amazing technology we have. Fundamental, like it's changing life today. I even had a solar watch. So fundamentally speaking, this is a quite amazing technology, and I made a detailed videos like how the heck this solid state device without any moving parts take solar energy, aka photons, and convert it into electron movement. So that was one of the amazing videos that I've made. Amazing as in like the topic is amazing. Now let's come to another aspect, that is aluminum air battery. Now this whole topic blew up, so to say, on my primary channel. The video had like around 50,000 views in my oldest, like it was slowly going up, but randomly some YouTuber made a big video and it became a top shared, top hype system, and it's like it was like 500 600 million views, million I'm saying K views, and it was like going bonkers. And because of that, my video started to pop up slowly. So my video went from 50,000 to 100,000, almost 100K at this point in time, and many people were shocked. They were like, what the heck? Because the main video that kind of made it into sensation, they did not provide any information. Like the first primary aspect they omitted is like, these batteries, aluminum air batteries, they are not new technology, they are ancient technology, and fundamentally speaking, they are primary cell, basically use and throw. They are not rechargeable, and the way to quote unquote recharge them is basically what you are doing is basically oxidizing aluminum here. Now what you do to undo that, you have to basically smelt it. Basically what the thing we do in order to make aluminum in the first place, that's how you are putting energy into the system, and that's what you are extracting while you are driving your car or whatever have you. Now this technology, because of this misinformation, people are thinking like this is the next big thing, and every Tom, Dick, and Harry was like talking about like, hey, we don't need lithium anymore. India apparently does not have too much lithium, which we do. It's just we are using old technology, that's why we can't mine too much of it, and there is no battery plant to manage it. So it was creating a kind of vicious cycle where people think, this will save India, and like we'll have this battery, without realizing the fact this is only 20% efficient. 20% efficient. So basically you are burning 80% electricity just trying to power these things. Well, yes, while lithium we do require to buy, which we can buy, and we have been doing that. Like the whole world runs on trade, so the freaking out from that part is like meaningless, and not to mention you will burn the country down if you try to use this, simply because it's so inefficient. And there is an Indian oil company that is working on to do this. Are they trying to do some damage? No, they're flat out in their own press release, they are saying this is a very good replacement for diesel generators that we utilize for mobile towers. India has ludicrous amount of mobile towers, and they consume insane amount of diesels. Like they are quoting it like second largest diesel consumption. So fundamentally replacing that with this, at that point it's like, that's awesome. But for cars, no, it's like right tool for the right job. So it is amazing thing. It has the luxury to like put it and forget it, and only use them when you actually need that. So in that regard, it's awesome, and you can recycle it. So from that point of view, when you are just like compared to like how do you use your current diesel system. You just keep feeding it fuel. Here you just have to feed it water when you want to turn it on and remove water when you don't want it on, and once it's completely depleted you just change the plates, or depending on the system you could replace the whole battery. And it has enough density so you don't have to like giant truck sizes, it's small one. So it's awesome, right tool for the right job. But because of misinformation and incomplete understanding, the fact that every Tom Dick and Harry was like, we're just gonna mine the aluminum. Like, you don't find aluminum, we find crude oil, we find natural gas, we don't find aluminum. You just know, oh, aluminum. That's not happens. We get aluminum ore, we have to make it into aluminum, basically remove the oxygen from it. That's how we get the stuff. So that's the reason why this video was kind of important for me, and I like pride myself trying to do my best to show enough information where it's like, if there is a missing element, people should find that in my video. Like, I do my best to do that, and this video kind of reinforced the idea. It's like, because every Tom Dick was like, dude, this battery is gonna save us all. I'm like, do you know how inefficient this puppy is? It's like, or do you know how you even gonna charge? It's like, there are videos on top of this, and nobody's like, okay, this is how we plug it, this is how we recharge it, and nobody even thought of that. It's like, why the heck you are not showing it recharging? You can't. It's a smelting process. So this was kind of an important video, not just like as a like interesting topic, as an important topic. It's like now we come to atomic clocks. Now atomic clocks are basically master clock of our world. Basically, how does your GPS, GLONASS, all those system work? Atomic clock. How does your world trade communication works? Atomic clock. How does your mobile tower works? Atomic clock. Everything that runs on human engineering at this point in time relies on atomic clock one way or the other, sooner or later, today or tomorrow. It's like atomic clock is the fundamental clock of our reality. So it's quite amazing the technology that we have allowed us to have this, because be mindful, the current atomic clocks, they are so precise, they are uselessly problematic to use. Like, to give you a context of that, think of this way. Like, if you take two atomic clocks, you move like, this is a table, let's just say you have two atomic clocks, you move one of them 1 foot up, you'll be like, okay, the time is moving slower, faster on otherwise. Like, what? Yes, because like we can see relativity in real time, and it's like difference of this. That's like, take second, add 15 zeros to it, 15 zeros to it. That's how much variation. Like, we became so precise that we can see the flow of time. Hey dude, time is flowing a bit more faster, a bit more slower. It's like, at this point in time, if they build a water dam, giant water dam, it's like, okay, clock will run slower there, and we can put it there and do calculation to figure out like how slower, and our clock will match it. Like, we have achieved as precise as is fundamentally possible, because at this point in time we are directly feeling quote unquote space-time continuum. Like, we are feeling it. It's like, no, moon has different kind of tidal energy to it. Like, we can feel those things. We are feeling the gravity, we are feeling the flow of it. So that's mind-bogglingly awesome. That's how precise we have went at this point in time. And we don't even give a damn about it. It's like, who cares? It's like, we just put it in one of the in space. Now this is a Galileo's one, because this was made for European system, European global navigation system, and because they were making it after American system, which was like GPS, they improved it a lot. The clock was the primary thing that improved the hell out of it, and this is a hydrogen measure based system. It's horrifyingly accurate. It's like, it can tell you your location based on 1 meter square. It's like 1 meter square, like this is exactly where. That's the military spec one. Normal mobile phone will not get that data because that's encrypted. So quite amazing. Like, the importance of atomic clocks cannot be understated. Then we come to photolithography. Now this puppy allowed us to have this YouTube. Like, the fact that you are seeing me is solely possible because of this technology, photolithography, because it allows us to make IC smaller than the grain of a sand. Think of it this way. Like, this is an electron microscope of basically very old technology known as a eye integrated circuit, where you can actually see each interconnects and all that jazz. Now human hair would be like much bigger than this, and this is a very old system. That's why I'm specifying. The modern ones, even if you use electron microscope, the best quality one, the best case scenario you're gonna see is like, okay, this smudge, that's the transistor gate, this smudge is the drain gate. That's all you're gonna see. Like, that's how precise we are. Like, we can take one silicon wafer and cram the hell out of it with a whole architecture, where we have like, this is the bus connection, this is the timing clock signal, this is the phantom memory, this is the cache memory. Like, all these things are happening inside of grain of a sand. Like, that's the amazing aspect of it. This technology allowed us to become so powerful, where we are even thinking about artificial intelligence because of this. So, and everything in our modern world, from my watch to this audio recorder to this television to this camera to this whole internet thing we are talking about, all that is possible because of this technology. So this was kind of amazing. And any country that controls this technology, example China, has insane amount of power, because this is not one of those things where you can build it in a lab or build it in a few years. It takes decades place to even start. And $1 billion is like, bro, please. Bro, please. It's like, don't even think about it. It's like $1 billion is like, bro, chump change for this. Like if you want to see like closely guarded secret, try to figure out how Samsung actually makes a technology that allows them to manufacture 5 nanometer chips. It's like, damn, like the amount of technology went into this is mind-bogglingly awesome. Then we come to the horrifying part of India, that is lack of makerspace. So fundamentally, you have to understand this. Like mind needs a fertile ground to grow, so to say. Now, India, as like anybody who lives in India, they will tell you flat out, it's like all we do is like work our ass off just to memorize something, then plonk it on an exam paper and try to get a job. That's all we do. Like that's the end. That's why we take existence, and that's how we go out of this world. Fundamentally, we are inherently limited, and everything we do is rotates around job. It's like get a job, get a government job if possible. That's it. Like get up, get a job, go to sleep, get a job. That's it. That's all we do. And fundamentally speaking, that is limiting India on such a horrifying level where like once I actually started to understand it, it's like we are not doing anything. It's like we have to actually go to Israel and ask them, hey, can you lend us your weapon systems? It's like we are going to Israel to ask that. We are going to France to, hey, can you give us rocket engine? We have ISRO, but that's all they are doing is like going to basically France and like, hey, can you give us like your Viking engine so we can rename it to Vikas engine? It's like, or can we go to like old Soviet Union places like, hey, can I have your rocket engine, make it SE200? So the reality was like we are not doing anything, because fundamentally our mind is not growing. Like we have on paper, like dude, we gonna smoke any country on the paper. It's like, bro, exams, we got this. Like that's all we do. It's like we study for exams. We don't study to become things, we study just to get a job. So that was horrifying. And you may be like, okay, I may be exaggerating. That's possible. Like I also thought maybe I'm the crazy one. But then a data point came out, and this is still coming out, so to say. The first time I came to know about it was in 2018, and there was a data analysis done on what happened to all the engineering student. Now in India, you do not have an option. Basically, if you fail in exam, we send you up. Like we send you up. So fundamentally, you have to become an engineer, doctor, or like in my case, I lucked out and I tried to become engineer. To be fair, the sole reason I became an artist is because I was bad at everything else. So you can understand, like I was the lucky one. So fundamentally, what happened to all this? Like we should have like the most powerful engineering workforce anywhere on the planet, like billions, kind of billion-fold more powerful. Then what happened? 80% of them did not get a job, flat out did not get a job. And most of them were working in call centers, some jobs that they had nothing to do with. Like they studied for this, prepared for this, and they're not doing anything. And then Indian car manufacturers, like India thankfully still has a lot of car manufacturing industry, and they're like, dude, we can't hire these people are useless. It's like, why? Because they do not have integration. Like mind is not cultivated. They're just like drones. They're like cheaper drones. So yeah, we can go to USA and some people finally start to grow and then they can win Nobel prizes, but like in India itself, it's gone, it's zero, it's horrible. So fundamentally, that fact that 80% are becoming useless, then some people started to came together. It's like, what are we missing? The answer was Makerspace. And if you look go back, like you go back as you can go, and like figure out what triggered Steve Jobs, what triggered basically Elon Musk, or what triggered basically Bill Gates. It's like where they were like meeting together and like having things and like thinking about things. That was always a makerspace. Now again, it may also call hackerspace back in the day, but you get the point. Like there was a place where people can do things. Like back in those, use a soldering iron, make a computer. Again, computers were simple back then. So again, that allowed us to basically do things with our own hands and learn and grow. And that was the fundamental growth spurt, so to say. That made USA USA, that made Japan Japan, that made Europe Europe. And India does not have this. And thankfully enough people have woken up in India. It's like, dude, there is no point having thousands and thousands and millions of engineers if 100% of them are useless. It's like 80% flat out. Like these are government certified data points. It's like 80% are not engineers anymore. So that's like we are just taking money and like burning it. So fundamentally, we need this sort of space where we can actually break through and like think. Right now we don't even think. Like only thing we do, hey, can you offer us a job? Or like make in India is just a simple way of saying like, hey, don't just go China and copy paste things here, do here. Heck, China is already trying to surpass us. Trying, why I'm saying trying, they already did in many regards. So fundamentally speaking, this is important. India needs to wake up and have to make this priority. This is not optional, this is compulsory. If we do not do this, our young generation, they're gonna be like outdated to a point where it's like, why did I took such a big loan to become an engineer and why I'm not getting any job? And it won't be their fault. It's like they grew up in a system where it's like, dude, the only reason why you are brought into the existence is just beg for job. So this is very important and very crucial. So this was my presentation on top 5 interesting topics that I have covered. I hope you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free. And as always, thanks for watching.